Hey Rangers, today we're going to be talking about the Dragon Ball Z movie collection #1, which contains the following films: Dead Zone and World's Strongest. Now these are the first two films that were about Dragon Ball Z. Dead Zone, I've got to admit, I didn't like it all. I don't like Garlic Jr. I don't think a lot of people like Garlic Jr., but The World's Strongest was actually a really good film. If you've not seen the Dead Zone film, it's all about Garlic Jr. gaining immortality and then turning around trying to beat Goku and Kami, mainly because of Kami actually getting rid of Garlic Jr.'s dad. And The World's Strongest is all about Dr. Wheelo trying to get the strongest body so he can fight and take over the world. For the special features, all you get are just trailers. And that's it, just trailers and that's it. And I kind of really wish they could have put a little bit more into this, but some of the trailers felt like it was very Dragon Ball Z back in the day, before like the streaming and stuff, which was really nice to kind of see. So let's talk about the animation. The animation was very basic. It reminded me a lot of the old school Dragon Ball Z, rather than like kind of the new one that we get in Super. But it was kind of nice to actually go back and reminisce about how I used to watch it on DVD, or how it was when it came onto Sky TV. Now I'm also going to be talking about the animation again in the movie collection 2 that is going to come up very, very soon. Both films were very, very action-packed, and there didn't seem to be any kind of downtime. And if there was only a little bit towards it. Nothing like kind of major, but this got you really into the film straight away. I did hate the entire Dead Zone film because to me it felt like it was very rushed, and there wasn't a point. Like Garlic Jr. always turns around and says, "I'm immortal, you can't defeat me." And then at the very end, it's like, boom, all done, completely finished, without a kind of proper like wrap up. It just felt like they didn't know what they were doing. When it came to World's Strongest, there were some elements that reminded me a lot of like the kind of older school animation from like Project A-ko, from Gundam Wing, and that was mainly when Dr. Wheelo's minion, can't remember his name at the moment, but when he was like, he pulls out a machine gun, or his arm turns into a machine gun, it felt very kind of old. I'd say like maybe early or late 80s. It felt like it looked real rather than what we've got today. I will point this out, it's like it was really nice seeing all the scenes from Rock the Dragon, where if you look back at the intro to Rock the Dragon, they're pretty much all taken from like this one film, and you kind of think, why not bring something from the series, apart from when like Trunks comes down with his sword at some point, or the Saiyans walking through like the kind of like water. I'd say it's like more of like a waterfall, from Vegeta and Nappa walking through like this waterfall as well. It felt kind of weird, but it was really nice seeing my childhood just in these two films effectively, and I think some from the other film too, in movie collection 2. But next comes the writing, and to be honest, there isn't really much you can really say about the writing. It's very action-packed. It's straight away, like everything is just like kind of not rushed, but it just feels like it has to be at a certain pace to kind of go through. Now these films aren't that long, roughly either coming up to an hour or just under, but it felt like, you know, you don't get a slowdown in dialogue whatsoever. The only writing I didn't like is when it comes to the actual film itself, and that's when Gohan is looking around the Garlic Jr.'s base or whatever, and he finds like this tree and he eats the fruit. Now I don't know if it's having a psychological effect due to drugs or if it's alcohol based. He starts to go out of his mind, he starts either being drunk and he's just wandering around, and I didn't kind of like that writing, only because it just felt really, really weird. Gohan being captured, obviously Goku gets Kami, he decides to come along because Garlic Jr. is his problem, so it's really nice to see kind of Kami fighting before he disappears in Dragon Ball Z when he fuses with Piccolo. So I kind of really like that Kami was fighting, but it wasn't like kind of punching quite quickly. It's like I'm jumping out the way all the time. One thing that did annoy me, as I've just previously said, is when Garlic Jr. turns around to the others and says, "I'm immortal, you can't touch me," and Goku and the rest just don't take this into consideration. It's like, oh, we don't care. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to still fight. We've got to beat you. And he's like, "I'm immortal. You can't beat me." I think that just kind of really kind of irritated me after a while. I would have much preferred them say, well, you know, we've got to wait for something to happen. Like, we've got to make sure this does happen, etc., etc. But it doesn't really work. And that's one thing that kind of annoyed me. When it all just leads to Gohan becoming angry in this, he just turns around and just blasts them out. And it felt like when they're fighting suddenly the Dead Zone opens up and everything just goes from like not a slowish pace, but then straight from one pace to another where it's like, oh, hang a minute, I blinked and it's all changed. That's what I kind of didn't like. Now, when it comes to World's Strongest, I generally enjoyed this. The writing was fine. You know, obviously it starts off with Gohan and Oolong, and it's really nice seeing that some of the other characters that are being involved in the films. But when it comes to like them finding Dr. Wheelo's base, when Piccolo's there and he gets attacked and he gets kidnapped and he gets brainwashed due to Dr. Wheelo wanting to find the strongest person around so he can become into his body. I like the storyline because it felt something slightly different. When it gets to the point of where the heroes don't know what to do when they can't use a spirit bomb, because it feels like in every single film it's a spirit bomb is the only way to do it. When Goku literally tries to defeat Dr. Wheelo at the very end and he can't, the whole thing of like a Kami Kamehameha and then uses a spirit bomb, it felt like it was really nice seeing this sort of stuff. It wasn't just a kind of like right, that's quick, he's dead, he's over and done with, doesn't really matter anymore. This to me did actually generally think that they took a little bit more time in preparing the story rather than Garlic Jr. because who likes Scarlet Jr.? Who really likes Scarlet Jr.? If you do, tell me in the comments down below. We're going to talk about performances. When it came to the performances of the characters, it was, again, really weird to see how they all either... Piccolo hated Goku, wanted to defeat him and kill him, to the point where Krillin was very scared, and obviously Gohan, I hate Gohan when he's a kid. But it was really interesting to see these sort of characters change. And obviously, we're so used to Piccolo being Goku's friend, to actually being his ally, to, actually loving Gohan, and Gohan loving, like, Mr. Piccolo. But it just got to the point where it was very different to kind of see this. And it was kind of, in a way, refreshing. Now, I hated the Garlic Jr. Film. I just generally did. The Dead Zone was just... it was just very, very irritable to me. But the World's Strongest was actually possibly one of the best on this one. Well, it is the best one on this DVD. And it just felt just generally enjoyable to watch. So it's kind of weird of seeing Goku not being able to use his full extent. Like, he doesn't know he's a Saiyan just yet or something like that. So him like flying properly has to call Nimbus, uses his power pole still. It's all kind of really weird and kind of very alien in some sort of way. My final thoughts on this one is, this is a must if you're a Dragon Ball fan. This is really cool that we're actually getting all the films out. We've got the first two, we've also got the second lot coming out, and then we've got more coming out later on. So it's really nice actually going back through the Dragon Ball history to actually really watch it and kind of appreciate it. Now, I've never seen World's Strongest, so to me this was all brand new. It made me really want to watch and pay attention to it, and I really like this after all these years of going back and actually finding something that I've not seen to actually enjoy and actually say, oh, this is what Dragon Ball Z used to be. This is absolutely really awesome. I really like the style of the animation. I kind of like Super's animation, but seeing the animation of Dragon Ball Z kind of brought back a lot of like kind of childhood memories of when I watched it, and I just absolutely loved it. I also kind of think this is really good to look back and watch on a few things, because if you're going to really enjoy it, then enjoy it with friends, enjoy it with family, say, hey, this is what I used to watch as a kid. I think you would like it. So yeah, I would highly recommend this. If you're a collector, if you're not, I just highly recommend it. So Rangers, what did you think about this? Do you like Dragon Ball Z? Did you like the first two movies? Are you a Garlic Jr. fan? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the other videos on the channel. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.